As usual, he checked his paycheck, $2,000 a month. But this time, he froze. There was more than 3 million sitting in his account. Before he could even process it, his boss came over like always, mocking him, tearing him down in front of everyone. Xiao Wei's face burned red with humiliation. But that number in his bank account gave him something he'd never had before: confidence. He fired back on the spot, ripped the keyboard out, and walked straight out. Just outside the office, he ran into someone he knew, a guy who had betrayed him in the past. This time, Xiao Wei didn't hold back. A few sharp words, then he turned and left, walking away more boldly than ever before. No one would have guessed that, not long ago, he was still at the very bottom, mocked by co-workers, too scared to respond, betrayed by friends, yet choosing to forgive, bullied by his boss, forced to swallow it all, because Xiao Wei suffered from severe anxiety. Whenever the pressure spiked, his heart would race, his breathing would lock up, and in that state, the world around him would slow down visibly, but it came at a cost. The condition drained his strength fast, leaving him completely exhausted afterward. To live a normal life, he relied on medication every day. One day, while buying his meds at a pharmacy, a strange woman suddenly struck up a conversation. Just as he was about to respond, she slammed him down. There had been a violent confrontation nearby. Xiao Wei's condition kicked in again. The two of them were trapped behind the shelves, unable to escape. The woman quickly pulled out a special device, locked her handgun into place, and returned fire. Using reflections for cover, she created chaos. Seizing the moment, Xiao Wei broke free. She detonated a nearby gas line, covering his escape. But the attackers didn't stop. They hijacked a vehicle and continued the pursuit. At the last second, the woman pulled up in a sports car and saved him. The streets turned into a full-on chase. The enemies closed in, and she fired back while driving. Even so, they were hit with a special attack. The car spun out of control. Thanks to her insane driving skills, they barely made it out alive. When Xiao Wei woke up again, he found himself inside a sealed facility. The exits were heavily guarded. Something was clearly off. Then a mysterious old man appeared, the one in charge. Without waiting for explanations, he ordered Xiao Wei to be tested. Under intense pressure, Xiao Wei's ability surfaced again. He could see details no normal person ever could. The old man told him the truth. This wasn't a disease. It was an extremely rare gift, and his father had been one of the few who possessed it. That was when Xiao Wei learned. His father had once been a key member of the organization. His father had disappeared when he was young, and that was why Xiao Wei had lived so cautiously, so repressed, his entire life. The old man showed him his father's past, and explained where the 3 million came from. It all sounded unbelievable, but the evidence was right there. Later, the woman brought him to a hidden base, inside an old textile factory. On the surface, it was just a factory. In reality, it was the organization's headquarters. Xiao Wei began brutal training, physical tests, combat drills, reaction exercises under extreme conditions. Eventually, he started learning the hardest skill of all, advanced firearms control. After countless failures, he finally mastered it. Soon, he received his first mission. Through encrypted messages, he locked onto his target and completed the operation. But when the mission ended, something went wrong inside the organization. In the chaos, Xiao Wei accidentally wounded a teammate and was badly injured himself. The investigation pointed to one person, a white-haired old man. Even after being warned it was a trap, Xiao Wei went alone. That's when he discovered the list on the loom had been altered. What was once a system meant to represent justice had long been corrupted and exploited. His father had left the organization because of this very truth. With everything exposed, Xiao Wei fought back. The base descended into chaos. The loom was completely destroyed, and the one pulling the strings vanished. In the end, Xiao Wei returned to the city, only to find the money in his account was gone. Months passed. Life went back to normal, as if nothing had ever happened. He sat at his desk again, typing away at his keyboard. Then, a hand landed on his shoulder from behind. A gun pressed silently against the back of his head.